Hi, my name is Danielle, and today we are going to be talking about the differences in fashion between the US and the UK. We've mentioned in previous videos that before coming to the UK, Matthew and I did a lot of research about what clothing we should pack. We didn't really want to stick out like sore thumbs in the UK. And many of the articles we read listed things that we later found were kind of incorrect. We were told not to bring hoodies, not to bring t-shirts. After arriving in the UK, we realized though that's something that we totally could have brought and still we would have fit in just fine. Based on what we were reading online, everyone in the UK dressed way nicer, classier, posher than people in the US. Since moving to the UK though, we found that's not entirely the case. We are actually here to report that we don't think people in the UK dress that differently than people in the US. Later on in this video, we will give you our theory on why this is misrepresented. But generally, we would think that you could transplant the average American into the UK and you wouldn't really notice a difference with their clothing. And the same the other way around. In both countries, there's a wide variety of things that people dress themselves in, right? You have hoodies, sweatshirts, pants, tennis shoes, or in the UK we would call them pullovers, jumpers, what else? Trainers, and trousers. That's an important one. But generally speaking, the way that people dress is kind of the same. There are a few exceptions though. For instance, baseball caps. You do not see as many of those in the UK. And you definitely don't see people wearing them backwards on a daily basis. That's something you would find in the US quite frequently. Another difference would be in the UK, people tend to dress for the weather way more appropriately than we do sometimes in the US. And that could be for a couple of different reasons, but one of the main ones is in the US, oftentimes you're not out in the weather. You're not walking places. In fact, sometimes you don't even go outside because you get into your car in the garage, then you drive to work and you go into a parking garage, car park, and then you go into work and you're in a building the entire time. Whereas in the UK, you are walking way more, people bike to work way more frequently, and it makes sense to dress for the weather, whether that's with umbrellas, rain boots, closed-toed shoes, just jackets, layers, those kinds of things, whereas in the US, sometimes we don't do that. Another thing that does need to be addressed is maybe specifically Walmart and the people of Walmart. And if you've ever seen those photos of USA citizens dressed like ridiculously in Walmart, those people make us uncomfortable too. And that's not representative of the entire United States fashion style, but it does exist. It's real. Why do we think that people generally believe people in the UK dress way, way better than people in the US? Here it is. When people come and visit the UK, we think that often they spend a lot of time in London, which is a really big city. You walk around downtown London. Do you call it downtown? You walk around the city center and you see all of these people dressed so nicely, because they have their cool jobs to go to and everything's super nice and all that stuff. We think that would be comparable to going to downtown New York City, right? Where, again, people are going to these really nice jobs in high-rise buildings and they're dressed super, super nice, super swanky. But it's not actually representative of the entire country in both cases. This is actually part of the reason we think it's so important, and we definitely tell all of our US friends, if you're coming to the UK, go to the UK. Don't just go to London. Experience the whole thing because it's all amazing. In summary, if you don't want to stick out, wear clothes that fit you and act confident. And that will do most of the work for you. Although in reality, you are going to stick out a bit, right? But it's not going to be for your clothing. It's going to be for all the things that you're doing and the way that you speak, your lovely accent. If you do want some extra tips for how to not stick out when traveling to the UK, we do have another video on that and it will be linked. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we put out new videos every week. Please like and subscribe and we will see you next week.